Hello everyone, this is John from PokerVIP.com, and in this video I am playing 200NL, a mix of tables from anonymous to regular to turbo on StanJames, which is part of the microgaming network. I'm using a poker tracker HUD for the first time on a video. I used to use Hodl Manager, but I've had a few issues. So, we're going to get that going. It's just a default HUD at the moment, but, something is better than nothing. And yeah, we're just going to launch into it. This is how I play. This is what I do. Ace 9, I peeled pre-flop. I check called the flop. I'm now check raising the turn. I basically want to get value from all of his worst two pairs, his combo draws. I don't expect him to have too many sets or straights. I expect him to have a lot more worst two pairs. Once I do raise, I'm calling off. He can definitely have me beat, but top two pair in a spot like this is fine to get in with. As soon as I saw the 10, I kind of knew what I was up against. But you could obviously have 10 jack of hearts, and lots of hands like that. Which you could play the same. I'm not too sad about my line there on such a draw-heavy board. As you can see, if he's got ace 8, ace 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 10 jack, queen 10, 2 hearts, 2 diamonds, combos, then we're going to be, fine getting in there enough at the time. I 3-bet ace-queen, pretty standard. C-betting on a 10, 10 jack. He can definitely call me with worse, his king-queens, his 8-9s, his queen-9, so I'm happy to C-bet there. So we start off the video losing a buy-in. That's always, fun. I choose StanJames because of the software, the rake back, the promotions, the Winter Miracle rake race. It's just a bit of a gold mine. PokerVIP.com/deals to sign up. A7 I call blind versus blind. Once it checks me, I just go ahead and make a default half pot bet size. A lot of times blind versus blind, people just check fold. So I always just stab at the pot. We risk very little to win, a decent amount. Jack Queen offsuit, because we're playing 5-handed currently, I think it's fine to open in the cutoff. Pocket kings under the gun, obviously pretty standard. Ace king here, min raise the button. Always min raising the button with any two. Once we get 3-bet, it's a pretty easy 4-bet. This guy's got a pretty high 3-bet. He is a regular on the site. Ace king suited just, too big to ever, do anything but get it all in. He actually gets in with 9s, which I'm not too keen on. I am a bit nitty, so I don't really rate that too good. But he was ahead, I guess. Just gonna make a quick note there. I basically know that just means he got in 9s. Small blind versus the button. King 5 suited, happy to peel. A lot of people 3-bet. I like to call. I'm definitely calling when I've got all of these back doors and king high. People open the button, then they C-bet the flop. It's all just pretty standard stuff. Once they bet the turn and I develop no further equity, I fold. But obviously if I turn a club, if I turn a straight draw, if I turn a king, if I turn a 5, then I'm going to be more likely to continue calling there. I'm playing at 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon. There's not many games running. Luckily one table pops up as one's breaking. So there might be a few gaps in play where I'm only on 2 or 3 tables. But I just basically wanted to show you that there are so many games running, like the different types, the Anon, the Turbo, the regular, that you should always be able to find, at least 4 to 8 games at any time of day really on StanJames. I just play a mix of them all. I do table select, believe it or not. People generally don't think I do because I'm always just on lots of tables. But throughout a session, I'm constantly sitting out, sitting in, changing tables. If I'm sat at a table with 4 nits, then it seems pretty dumb to me. So I just kind of leave and play a different table. And then, if 10 minutes later, I'll probably load up that same table again if it's got better. Ace is blind v blind. I don't want to 3x it. I want to keep it small. For him, I just want him to do anything but fold. He 3.5x blind versus blind and folded there, so I'm not too sure what his strategy is. I think his opening size is interesting and unique, something we don't see a lot of. It looks like we've got a little crazy bluffer fish down here. Anonymous tables, you can note people, you can tag them. Once they leave the game, then that note and that tag will disappear when the new player sits in, so make sure you do that. You know, I'm obviously only playing 4 tables, so I'm going to remember that, you know, he bombs off. So I don't really need to note it, just good to know that he's a fish. Obviously, PokerTracker 4 HUDs do work on anonymous tables pretty well. So that's always a bonus as well. 10 Jack, a really simple open fold. Jack Queen off under the gun, I tend to fold. Jack Queen suited, I'd open though. Fives here, 3-handed. You know, I'm going to pile the pressure on. This guy seems pretty loose. He's going to be opening a lot of buttons, so I'm just going to go ahead and 3-bet. I don't have too many stats on him, but he did 4-bet me super fast there. Yeah, it's the first time I've ever seen him 4-bet. Generally, if I'm going to be 3-betting fives there, it will be to 5-bet jam versus a decent amount of opponents. Maybe there I was a little bit too quick on the trigger, but I still think it's fine. You know, we're going to win the pot pre-flop a lot. He's going to call more than he 4-bets, so you know we can obviously then just win with a c-bet. So it's not too much of a wasted opportunity. 3-4 off. I'm in complete, you know, bottom of my connecting range to open on the button, but heads up, I think we can open, you know, pretty wide. I check back this flop. He's just going to have a ton of, you know, 1-pair straight draw type hands. So I'm just going to shut down. I'll play this guy heads up until another table opens, unless he proves to be really good. Then it'd just be dumb to play him. So bonuses and rewards and everything. 10% rate back you can cash in anytime. 20% rate back paid every Thursday. 20% deposit bonus, which works off in like $7 increments, I think, or $10 increments. Miracle Rake Race, and then the StanJames Rake Races on Poker VIP. So plenty of action there for you. A6, I peel blind versus blind. Once he checks the flop, I'm going to bet the turn. 4-5 suited, once I call pre-flop in position. Sometimes I 3-bet, sometimes I fold. I'm going to go ahead and bet once check to. And I'd bet there if I totally missed as well. Jack Queen suited, happy to call a 3-bet. Pocket 10s, happy to go ahead and 3-bet as well. And pocket 7s, fairly standard. Jack Queen, I'm just always calling when I've got a gut shot. He's going to c-bet this board a lot. Once he double barrels, I can let it go. 7s here versus this guy, looks like a fold. Generally pocket 9s or something I might go with pocket 10s definitely. But you know, I'm not really wanting to just punt off a ton of money. This guy, if you know, like you could think about like cold 4ing there versus this guy because he's so loose and he 3-bets so often that he might just, you know, peel pre-flop and check fold a lot post-flop. But ace-8 suited, I'm just not too keen on doing it with this type of hand. Looks like we're just on 3 tables for now, but that's fine. I'll stay sat here. If anyone joins me, that's great, and I'm on a waiting list anyway for another table. So 3 tables is cool for now. I wish I did do it with the ace-8 now. It'd be interesting to see these hands at showdown. He's representing that. He's got something massive. Yeah, he's got Jack 10 off. You know, pretty. You know what we're going off pre-flop. That this guy opens and is a bit of a fish in seat 1. This guy's just mental, so I'm going to be in as many pots as I can with him from now on. Big all in on the other table. Queens v Kings. Kings holds. So yeah, I mean, just pointing out about microgaming as well, and StanJames, like, this isn't like a once in a blue moon thing. Like, this guy's reloaded 3 times now, €200 each time, and he's just bluffing off full stacks, full stacks, full stacks, and playing this bad all the time. You look around the tables, you know, there's 31 VPIP here, there's a 43, there's a 41, there's a 33. You know, there's tons and tons and tons of fish here. Oh, and he's up to no good again with the old deuce 3 suited, but it was only a little pot that time. He quickly gave in. But it's nice that he's opening deuce 3 suited from under the gun. So yeah, sorry, if you sign up with StanJames, obviously you get the deal that I mentioned, all the rate back bonuses, rate races, etc. But you'll also, well, if you say you watch this video and sign up because of this video, you get a free bag of merchandise, which are just some really cool T-shirts and some really cool patches. You know, Poker VIP, PokerTube Week Tight. We'll throw a couple different T-shirts in there. So make sure you get signed up now. Let me know. PM me. Leave a comment below. Get all that sorted for you. A6, I kind of wanted to 3-bet the guy, but A6 is just too difficult to play. 6-7 suited, I made a pretty, skeptical call out of position, but versus someone who's opening 42%, it gives me more chance of winning lots of money from a guy like that, basically. Ace-10, I think, is a fist pump value 3-bet versus this maniac. He calls out a position as I kind of expect. Interesting flop. I expect to be ahead a decent amount of time, but I'm obviously not going to be thinking about value betting or bluffing. My hand's good to sort of bluff catch with. I can obviously improve to a straight, 2-pair, 3 of a kind. But by checking back and being in position, I'm just going to induce a lot of bluffs as well. Don't get me wrong, he could have me absolutely slaughtered, but I don't think I can go ahead and just fold. Him betting that size is repping like a really good 2-pair, a straight or a full house, and I'm just not too sure, so I'd rather go ahead and call. Yeah, Chad top 2-pair. I like it. I like his style. His bet sizing got him paid, but once we've seen him go crazy before, and he's repping such a sort of narrow range, then I'm gonna go ahead and call down. I don't think he's doing this with like King 8. I don't think he's doing it with just a Jack. When the board double pairs out, then it's just a great run out for me because nothing changes unless he's randomly just doing this with a 5, but I can't really think of that. Yeah, 7's here, flop a set, gonna go pretty big. Very draw heavy board. Lots of straights, lots of flush draws. Straight and flush, backdoor flush gets there, but I'm gonna go ahead and bet for value, and I'll be bet folding here. You can have a decent amount of, Queen X of hearts, King 10 of hearts, those type of hands, so I would definitely give him credit for having those. As you saw in the replay, he had King Queen. Don't really love his call there. A7 suit I'd normally fold, but the reason I'm opening is the fish is in the big blind, so I want to play as many pots as possible with him. So I might as well open when it's his big blind with a hand that's probably ahead of what he's going to be calling me with. King 8 suited, blind versus blind, pretty easy call. Gonna go for a half pot C bet here with the King 9. We'll get a decent amount of folds. If not, we just kind of give up. King 8, calling, I just generally peel in position a lot when I've got a lot of back doors. King 9, once he raises, I just go ahead and muck. Obviously, I've got no equity at all there. Good turn for us, King 8. This guy's now pot bet. He can have a better draw, he can have a worse draw, he can have a made hand, he can have a marginal hand. But yeah, we're in position, we've got a gut shot on a flush draw, so we just call. If I was him, I'd be putting me on like a decent Jack, a hand like King Queen, some 2-pairs, very little sets, never Ace King, very rarely 8-9 off because I'd probably raise the turn. So I don't think I can really get any credit here by raising, so I'll just let it go and fold. I think a lot of people there just randomly bluff, and even though we've got the 8 blocker for the 8-9 straight, I think if I had 8-9, I would probably raise the turn once he pop bets it, because that would make me more inclined to think he's got a hand, and that he would, not be folding. So, and obviously when there's a lot of draws out, I'd want to sort of be getting in before the draws either ruin my action, or before he gets, a draw for free. So not the best start to a video. Obviously we got that nice double up, Ace King versus 9s. I think we stuck like half a buy-in, like $160, $170, 120 euros or something. So we'll just keep on plodding on. Been here before. Yeah, 4x. I'm not actually too sure about this guy. He opens 29%, so I'm going to go ahead and peel in position. We could think about 3-betting, but I don't know what his 4x open means. We could definitely think about folding, but with a hand that makes nuts in position versus someone who I think is a little bit weird, I'm going to go ahead and just start calling a lot more. Obviously, we are looking for, more 2 pairs, draws, flushes than hitting an ace. But he certainly looks like a weaker player to me, so I want to get involved with these people. Obviously on the flop, easy fold when we've got someone behind us. He looks like he's got a little something something. Interesting run out here. Quite interested about the bet size on the turn, the fact that he's made it so he can't get his stack in without it being over a pot size jam. Maybe a bit of a lazy mistake by this reg, because I think this just looks hideous generally. He should have just bet like 5 more on the turn and been able to jam under the size of the pot. But regs do silly things. He gets a call. Queen 9 versus 7-10. So he just thought he'd turn 7-10 suited into a bluff. Pretty random there. And I think that goes to show, like, this guy, even though he's a reg, he doesn't think well enough. He didn't take enough time on the turn to sort of figure out what kind of hands this guy's going to have. Setting up the pot for a bet. He was just like, right, I'm bluffing. And I think that's kind of all that crosses his mind. And then he makes that desperation, overbet shove on the river. So yeah, not too impressed with that. He could definitely get some hands to fold, but generally these type of players, the trash dropper guy, they ain't big folders, And he's gonna have a couple of queens there, he's gonna have a couple of flushes there, so not too keen on that. It's quite cool that I've got position on this guy, so this video could definitely get fruity to say the least. If this video does carry on, I might make it a two-parter. If the tables stay the same. Still waiting on our 4th table, sadly. Nobody's sitting versus me. Even though there are people trying to start tables, but as soon as I sit with the guys that are trying to start the tables, they instantly sit out, so kind of pointless me even trying to join. Oh wait, I've got my name on a list for a turbo and a regular, so I'd wait for those rather than try and start like another anon. I don't want 3 anons, I'd rather have a mix. It's an offsuit 5-handed, it's pretty loose. But these 2 guys are obviously a little bit fishy, so might as well go try and play them. And as I say that, I get 3 bets, so serves me right. Leave any comments below. How would you play these hands? Any questions about the way I play them? Anything at all, basically. Just have a look at his 4 to 3 bet and stuff, even though I don't really know how to use this yet. But just go ahead and fold. Really need to get used to the poker tracker HUD. If you've got any advice on how to use the pop-ups, if you've got a special HUD made, that'd be awesome. Like I say, I just gave in with Hold'em Manager. Like, just seriously gave in. It was just... even when I try and open it now, it's still wrong. I think they have the best support online, like, ever. Their replies are amazing, but everything they sent me to do just never worked, and I just gave in, spent the $100 on Poker Tracker 4. Opened it, turned it on, opened the table, and, the HUD was working and the hands were tracking, and that's all I really need to see. A7 off, dead easy peel. Go ahead and 3-bet if you prefer to, but I don't mind calling with A7 and playing out of position. And it'll be a pretty easy float on this 6 deuce deuce. We're going to be ahead a lot of the time. Little Queen 4 getting naughty down here as well. Games are good. Games are good. A7 I like to lead the turn. I basically want him to fold any hands. Like, I know it's weird that I want him to fold a hand that I beat, but like, he's going to have a decent, chunk of equity versus me. I don't want him to get a free card. I'd rather just win the 8 €8 and 55 in there. I think my sizing's pretty good. He can definitely have a 9, but I think he's more likely going to have like ace highs, flush draws or straight draws or something. I mean, he's representing a 9. That's the only hand I can give him, so I've got to go ahead and call. And sadly, he did have the old 9 ball, but it's like literally a 9 or nothing there, so I think ace high might win a decent amount of the time playing, a 6 deuce deuce 9 6 when diamonds missed, when clubs missed, and when the straight draw missed. I expect him to bet like all his pocket pairs, all his sixes, all his deuces on the flop, so. Made a hero call, we were wrong, but Tom Don's made worse. Okay, we've got a fourth table. Ace 8, peel in position, pretty standard to me. Let me try and get these tables. I'm trying to get them a little bit bigger than default, just so you can see them clearer. I know the overlapping and the untidiness of it isn't that appealing, but I'm pretty sure we're all following along pretty nicely. The ace 8, I bet once he checks, he's going to check call me a decent amount there, so go ahead and bet. Also, he might think I'm not representing much and, level himself. Looks like this table's breaking as well, which sucks, but we'll play it until it stops. Nice. Okay, table's looking good. Somehow, this one's bigger than that one. There we go. King 5, half pot c-bet, backdoor draws. The fact that he can fold like his ace rags, his smaller pocket pairs. Okay, so it's like this game's going to break because this guy never plays me, but I'm totally fine to open ace 7 even though we're out of position. Half pot c-bet on a board where we've got a straight draw. I'll be check calling this turn because of the speed he called. He's just going to have a ton of nothing a lot of the time. I've obviously got a good shot, 2 overs, so I'll go ahead and call. And he actually has ace 5, so that's fine, whatever. I don't think he missed a value bet or anything there. Okay, it looks like this guy's coming in, the Mao073, who I think is probably a weaker player, just looking at his stack size. Ace 9 suited, a pretty weak, pretty loose open under the gun, but again, playing people who are not that great. Seems I'm getting 3-bet a lot on this table, even though their 3-bets aren't that large. Maybe it's just a bit of a coincidence, but something we'll have to watch out for. Pocket queens, a hand that it's going to be pretty hard for me to play incorrectly pre-flop. We get a call by someone who I think is a weaker player. Just going to go and make a decent sized c-bet on a really good flop for us. We get a call, we don't get the best turn ever. He can have a decent amount of ace x's, but it's more so like if we're checking, it means we can get value from a jack on the river. We don't want to scare him off, so we just go ahead and bet now. Pocket aces, this guy never folds to me, so I'm actually going to make a 4x 3-bet. He's under the gun as well. I think he's pretty tight under the gun. I know, 30%, but over not so many hands, but he doesn't believe me anyway. He's going to call a ton, so that's cool. Tempted to just call here, because he is just crazy versus me. Yeah, it's exactly what I'm going to do. Just in case he's got nothing, I want to be able to, call, then check jam pretty much any flop. Get him to c-bet, get it in. Obviously, he could have just flopped me pretty dead, but that's something we shouldn't be scared of. The whole point is, if we think they're not going to call, we should probably not go ahead and bet. On the flop, basically, if he's got ace-king, or something as well, I don't want a queen to come and him get put off. So it's just a pretty easy jam. We make 3 aces versus ace-king. So a bit of a cooler there. He would have called pre-flop. But I guess it's nice for him to see that I'm going to be, calling out of position there with some pretty beefy hands. Might confuse him a little. And it's funny, I'm trying to do this coaching thing. I'm like, this guy generally has nothing, ends up being a massive cooler. He makes top 2, I make a top set. But trust me, I've played this guy a lot. A lot of times he just sort of does that then folds. Queen 7 suited, sorry I paused up here. I opened the button and I got 3-bet again. These guys are just beating up on me on this table, so I have to watch out for that. StanJames has been going really well for me recently. What the hell is going on? King 9 gets on in versus 9-10 and binks. This table's just full of maniacs. And this guy reloads again, another 200 in the mix. Love it. Really love it. 3 is going to go ahead and peel the button. I'm just currently on my other monitor here, just checking my poker tracker. King 10, go ahead and see that. Oh. Pocket 3 is going to go ahead and fold, just a lot of overcards obviously. Yeah, this is just what I was going to show you. This is my last few days on microgaming, 2,000 profit, nice upward swing, going really well, 100L, 200L, all pretty sexy. Just wanted to brag that quickly. Microgaming is just the best site to play online. I don't care what anyone says, it's my most profitable ever. It's not tracked by any site, so nobody can really bum hunt you. There's plenty of skins if you want different screen names. Obviously, I'm not saying multi-account, but if you play regularly and you kind of don't want, you want to change your screen name now and then, go ahead. I don't condone playing as Twerk Maddie Twerk, signing off, then playing as someone else to trick someone. But, every few months if you move around. Also, the good thing about moving around is if there's bonuses and stuff to claim on other sites, then, that's obviously worthwhile doing. I personally just play StanJames and BetVictor. StanJames just currently have the best deal, in my opinion. So, that's why I'm playing here. 7-8, good and bad flop for us. It's very wet, but against two, weaker looking players, I'm just gonna be, not too shy here at betting big and getting the money in. I have to bet big on the turn. There's just too many draws. I expect him to call off with a lot of draws as well. So, I'm gonna go ahead and bet. This Mamau 073 did turn out to be a fish. You can see 71-43-0 indicates that. This fiery guy doesn't seem to be that bad, just more weaker but quite nitty. Okay, so we're winning a bit now, thanks to coolering another guy. He's actually the dude who got in 9s versus me, isn't he? For some reason the note hasn't stayed on. I think it was him anyway. Could be wrong. Boom! Congratulations, your cash bonus has been credited to your account. That's like another 10 or 15 bucks or whatever it is. Okay, so I've been 3-bet a ton. This guy's 3-betting 15%. I'm going to go ahead and start 4-betting more now. King 7 suit is not the greatest hand to do it with, but a suited king nonetheless is fine. I only have to c-bet really small on a flop like this. It's a very dry floppy jams, I fold. Yeah, these guys are just outplaying me on the anonymous table. There's nothing really I can say about that. What's he check jamming with here? I mean, he might play jacks or tens like this, although a good player wouldn't, but I don't think we put him in a good player bracket. He might have a set. I guess he's got a decent made hand, and he just thought he'd call CSA flop then get it in. Obviously not a good flop for me, but if he's got, hands like broadways, suited broadways, ace highs and so on, then I can get a fold either on the flop or on the turn when I make another bet. So I think all the losses have pretty much come from this top left table. Just been 3-bet a ton, even though that's the first time I've played back, but I think it was a good spot to play back anyway. I would have preferred to have done it with hand like 8-10 suited, or Jack 7 suited, or Jack 9 suited or something, or 7-9 suited. But sometimes you just got to play back. I like my 4-bet pre, it was small enough yet big enough. I like the size of my c-bet. I can maybe even go a bit smaller in position, 26, 28. But I don't want this guy to just peel relentlessly versus me. So just getting the in-between. New table loads up, but we'll keep it at 4. 5's here. Half pot c-bet. 6's min raise. Against two opponents, the 6's I'll just check back. 10 jack suited, pretty easy fold. Ace king versus ace king. Give me my 10 jack back. I'd gamble with it now. Good job I didn't. Okay, everyone, pokervip.com/deals to sign up to StanJamesPoker.com. If you see me at the table, come say hi. If you've got any comments or questions, please leave them in the comment section below. Make sure you check out the forum. Make sure you come and say hi, sign up, get the goodie bag, claim the bonuses. And yeah, I was John for PokerVIP.com. Good luck at the tables. Actually, that would be really unfair, considering I've just 3-bet ace-10, so I'll hold on a second. I 3-bet obviously opens a bit wider, so, let's go ahead and 3-bet an ace in position. And a pretty easy c-bet post-flop. So anyway, good luck, goodbye, and I'll see you in the next video. This is John for PokerVIP.com.